What's going on, everyone? It's playoff time, and I'm here with Jeffrey from Only Talk Sports, and we're going to break down these playoff games and give our score predictions and take a look at the portal and the madness that's been going on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride for sure because, I can't believe we're here. College football is already almost done, even though it's not going to be over even once, the season's done because you're going to have the portal. So much news going on with that. Basically, the offseason doesn't even feel like the offseason anymore for a lot of it, even with basketball. Like, just so much portal news is going on for months, and coaching changes and all that kind of stuff is going to be crazy. But we're at the end of the line though when it comes to the games. You got some bowl games already going on. A few of them have been pretty decent. That Memphis West Virginia one was entertaining. But I think the biggest thing for me is just with bowl season it seems like the interest is waned heavily. Like, people just don't care as much because of the portal and because of NIL, and a lot of these guys are opting out. I don't know if you saw or not, but Marshall is not even playing in their bowl game because their coach, Charles Huff, is going to Southern Miss. They got tons of guys in the portal, and they didn't even have enough players to play in the bowl game. So, they're having to find a replacement team. Stuff like this, you never used to see this.
I think that it was like 5-7 Louisiana Tech is going to be their replacement.
Yeah, that's just pathetic. It really is pathetic. Not going to lie. So,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Charles Huff kind of got ripped off by Marshall, so I kind of understand it, but it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks for him. I hate it. He did all right there, had a couple good seasons, but at the end of the day, the games people care about the most is the playoff games, and that's exactly what we're going to be discussing tonight. And one of them I'm really excited about, and one of them Will is really excited about, and it so happens to be the same game. It so happens to be the exact same game that we were looking forward to the most. But, yeah, definitely going to be breaking down all the games, but can't wait to talk some more about Indiana Notre Dame. Not that I have not talked about it enough already. I've talked about it for 2 weeks, but we'll talk about it some more.
And if you want to learn more about the game, I put a video out on my own channel about it.
Awesome. Absolutely.
Yes, Diego Pavia is coming back. So
yeah, Scotty B, appreciate you being here. Says the same ruling about Vandy QB coming back. And then Jackson says, "What's up, Only Talk Sports Nation?" Appreciate that. But yeah, this is just a completely new era of college football. It is so crazy. Literally, if you are not looking at X all day, if you're not looking at it literally 24 hours a day, you're missing something. Okay, there's just so much news going on. You can't even keep it all in your head. Troy V says, "Are you and Will going to fight after the game?" No, I can say for a fact that is not going to happen. I can't attest for Will though, but I know I'm not.
Taking a look here at the bracket, Clemson and Texas. We can talk about that one first if we want.
Sounds good.
As Texas is a big 12-point favorite against the Tigers.
That's not a surprise at all. When you look at the fact that Clemson is nowhere near the program that they were, they're hanging on. It feels like with Dabo and Clemson, and it definitely, they're being benefited by the fact that they're in the ACC still. The conference is just so much weaker than the Big Ten and the SEC. But they're hanging on to national relevancy. They should not have been in the college football playoff this year. Miami blew it, right? Miami blew it and allowed Clemson to even get in the title game to begin with. And then Clemson barely beats SMU. They should not have been in the college football playoff. But they got in based off a lot of luck. And
the thing is, the Clemson offense is better this season. Like, their receivers have taken a big step forward, but their defense is much worse now. So
it's like Iowa, right? Like, Iowa's defense this year was not as elite as it's been in the past, but their offense was better. Loosely better. It was better though, right? So yeah, it's ironic that teams like Clemson and Iowa, when their defenses were really, really good.
33 touchdowns and 5 picks for Cade Klubnik. That's impressive numbers, man. But
absolutely. The unfortunate thing though is that a lot of those touchdowns, he poured on the stats against teams like Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, he had like 6 touchdowns in that game and tons of yards. I mean, so his stats are skewed heavily because of the fact that teams that he played were pretty poor. And it's the same thing with why people were said like, oh, Curtis Rourke, his stats were really good this year because Indiana didn't play any good teams. I mean, if you want to say that for Rourke, then you can say the exact same thing for Klubnik. I mean, I think Klubnik's gotten a lot better. I've been on record saying that this season. I do think that he has improved. But, yeah, I do believe Clemson's defense is going to be a problem because there were several games this year against bad opponents that they gave up like 30. So that's something Indiana didn't even do. I don't trust Texas still, though. Texas, they played well this season, but did they really beat anybody? Not really. I mean, they lost their 2 big games against Georgia, and like everything else was just. I mean, they beat A&M, but they didn't do a whole lot to really say that they're legit. I don't know. I mean, this is just a game where can Clemson hang? That's the key because I don't think Clemson's anywhere as good as they used to be. This is not the same Clemson team from 5 years ago. I don't think anybody thinks that it is. But like I said, Clemson's just holding on to national relevancy. I mean, they should not have been here. So maybe they can prove everybody wrong by getting a big win. I just think that as long as Texas just plays a decent game, then they'll win. But to Jason's point, I haven't seen you around, Jason. Well, I appreciate you for being here. He says, I hear you about Clemson, but has anyone noticed that Texas is pretty good at losing huge games at home? True. That is true. So I'm going to let Will pick first on this one. I'm pretty – I already have my pick, but I'm going to let Will pick first.
I'll go 38-20 Texas. I don't think Clemson can hang with them the whole game. Maybe at halftime it'll be close, but
35-21 for me. So we're in the same ballpark. Texas 35, Clemson 21. I think Clemson will score a little bit, but Texas should have a good offensive game. I mean, if to Scotty's point, turnovers. I mean, if Ewers makes a couple mistakes, they could get interesting. But Texas is just by far the better football team. And it would be a massively bad look for Texas if they lose. It would look terrible on them if they didn't win this game. I mean, Sark wouldn't have any, hot seat talk or nothing, but it'd be a bad look. It would look terrible because they're supposed to win this game. I mean, nobody's really picking upset here. Like when you look at the other playoff games that we're about to get to, there's 2 other games that people really think that an upset could happen. Obviously, Tennessee. Some people think that over Ohio State. Some people don't even think it's an upset. It is an upset, though, on paper, but, not that big of an upset. And some people are saying IU over Notre Dame. I've even seen some people say SMU over Penn State. But I don't think I've seen hardly anybody pick this. Just nobody's picking it. That could mean that it could happen. I mean, Clemson's definitely a good enough team that if they catch Texas on a bad night, they can win. Yes, but it's more so Texas than Clemson. If Texas plays bad, then they could lose. But, I mean, I think Texas should be fine. But we'll see.
All right. We got SMU and Penn State. Nooner in Happy Valley. It's going to be cold.
You want to talk about coaches with pressure? James Franklin has a lot of pressure in this game. And Ron Day has a lot of pressure in the Ohio State game. We're going to get to that one. But there is a ton of pressure on James Franklin right now. He cannot lose his game. Will he get fired if they lose his game? No. But it's just going to look really bad. And it's something that Penn State fans are never going to get out of their mouth. They're never going to get that taste out of their mouth if they lose this game. Because if Texas loses to Clemson, that would look bad. That would be a really bad look for Sark. But Clemson's still a national brand team, and they've won and all that. SMU is not that. SMU's in that same camp as Indiana, where everybody's like, okay, they don't even deserve to be in. Yay, we're glad SMU got in instead of Bama, but it's still SMU, though. They're not that good. So, yeah, this would be a horrible look for Penn State. I mean, this is just going to be a really hard game for SMU to win. And it's going to be a really hard game for Penn State to lose because Penn State's at home and that crowd's going to be hard for SMU to hang with. That's just going to be very, very difficult. But I could see it. I could see them losing still. I don't trust Penn State. I was impressed that they hung with Oregon, I guess you want to say, but I still felt that they kind of were manhandled in the game, even though they kept it close. And yeah, they kept it close against Ohio State, but they did nothing offensively. Drew Aller, I think, is fine, and I do think he has showed some improvement, but he still just kind of seems like average at times when he could be better. The offense just could be better. The key in this game is that Penn State's defense, Tom Allen. It's up to Tom Allen to just shut down SMU. You want to win this game, you just shut SMU down and not let them score at all and hold them to 10. Because if this game gets into the 20s or even the 30s, that's benefiting SMU by far. SMU wants to make it a shootout, kind of like they made it with Clemson, even though they did fall on the wrong end of the stick on that one. Do you think they can hang? Or do you feel that you think Penn State will be fine?
SMU just needs to come out hot. They cannot come out flat like they did against Clemson. That was ugly. And Jason, SMU needs to get on the front foot. Put the fear into the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Put the fear into the crowd. Get Kevin Jennings going. If there's fear into the crowd, oh, brother, they could blow it this game. They could blow this game. But I just don't know if SMU is going to be able to stop the run game of Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big issue. They're going to have to score like they did against Clemson, but they're going to need to get stops. I don't know. I want to pick SMU, but I have to be realistic here. I'll go 24-20 Penn State. I think they'll cover, but I do think the Nittany Lions will win.
Yeah, I want an upset too, honestly, because I agree with Jason that if SMU's up 21-7 or something in the game, I mean, Penn State's crowd, you're getting the boo birds are happening. The boo birds are happening. It's going to get ugly in Beaver Stadium. It's going to be ugly in Happy Valley. It's not going to be happy in Happy Valley if that happens. But the thing is, I agree with Scotty B. Penn State is just way more physical, way more talented. And the thing is that, yeah, SMU, only reason they got into the playoffs is because they barely lost to Clemson. And kudos to them and credit to them for coming back and making it a game. And they played well down the stretch. But as equally as it almost, the way SMU played against Clemson, it's the same way that Georgia played against Alabama. Georgia started out against Bama like garbage, just absolute utter garbage. And then in the second half, Georgia furiously came back, made it a game, and then Bama survived. That's the same thing. SMU in that first half sucked. They were horrible. They weren't even a top 50 team in the first half. They were bad. Clemson had their way with them. And then in that second half, flipped the script. And Jason, and SMU made it a game, a heck of a game, and almost pulled it off. But the thing is that they can't do that here, like you said. If SMU allows Penn State to get up by more than 14, they're not coming back. They're just not. They have to keep it around, a one-score game, even if they're losing at all times. Yeah, Jason, I got to read his comment, though. 21-7. If SMU goes up by that much, James Frank's going to have the helicopters butt out of there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it'd be that extreme, but it wouldn't surprise me. It would be ugly. But I think Penn State's just too good, too talented. And, yeah, there's a chance they could blow it. But the thing is that James Franklin does blow a lot of games, but he usually blows games against teams that are at least at their level or better. Like the Minnesota game, they found a way to win. I mean, think about it. Their only two losses are Ohio State and Oregon. They usually find ways to beat teams like this. So I think Penn State wins 27-17. I think SMU just is not going to hold up in the fourth quarter. Penn State will pull it out.
And then we'll talk about the Buckeyes and the Vols.
I'm looking forward to this game, Will. And a big reason, and I ain't going to lie, but it is the feud online. My goodness, those fan bases.
Man, the true most loudest fan base is on Twitter, man. Just at each other.
It's so bad, man. I mean, the thing is that what makes me laugh so much about, and I know we got Troy V in chat. I'm not trashing, but there are some really, really, really rogue Ohio State fans online. Every single fan base has rogue fans, but Ohio State has tons of them online. They're just brutal, right? Now they're getting it back from another fan base that's almost just as bad. I mean, some of the Tennessee ones are really chill. They're really cool. I mean, some of them are. A lot of them follow me. They're pretty cool. But they got some crazy stuff. Tennessee does. They got some crazies. And there's some chill Ohio State. I definitely Troy V. You're awesome, man. Stephen Cherry's always a blast to talk to. A lot of great Ohio State fans, but there's just some of them, man, on social media that just blow my mind. I mean, how delusional they are. They know it too. They know it, but they don't care. But yeah, both these teams, man, their fans are going nuts over this game. So yeah, even got Edward. Tennessee fans are hard online. Even Edward gets it. I mean, so the
Mall Twitter is like famous for being crazy.
Two of the most obnoxious fan bases on Twitter and going at each other is hilarious. But to the actual game, the thing is that this game just kind of feels like home field advantage, right? Like whoever had the home field advantage was going to have a really.
But will Ohio State actually have a substantial home field advantage, or will the Vol fans actually make? I'm curious.
There will be a lot of Tennessee fans there because they do travel like crazy, but it will be more Buckeyes. It's the same thing with Indiana, Notre Dame. I think Indiana will have some fans there, but Notre Dame's going to have more. But I think if this game was at Tennessee, then I would probably pick the Volunteers.
Sure. There's always that old lady. We all love Rocky Top, Tennessee. There's always the old lady for the big games always sings it.
Jim Ars has never been on.
Jim, you're missing it. You're missing it. So you
should, if you only
occasionally go on to check what's going on. I mean, don't go beyond it as much as I am, but it is kind of fun to look at from a distance.
Oh, yeah, Troy, I get that. Absolutely. You know the people on social media is not the entire fan base. Absolutely. Like, there are chill fans from every team, right? Like, every team. Alabama even has chill fans. There are normal Alabama fans. But, yes, on social media, there are crazy Roll Tide fans, crazy Bama fans. And, yeah, I mean, Ohio State just has a high number of crazies online. They just do. I mean, and Tennessee's is really bad as well. I mean, I know in real life a few chill Tennessee fans. I do. They're cool. But the social media ones kind of stink. So, I mean, yeah, I know it's not the whole fan base. It's just unfortunate that social media is for a lot of people, their only exposure to a certain team's fan base. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because – like, just say you live in the state of Washington. There's not going to be a lot of Buckeyes fans in the state of Washington, but then you look on the internet and you see on X and Twitter, or whatever you want to call it, and then you see a bunch of Ohio State crazies, and you just assume they're all like that. But it's not true. But, I mean, the thing is, like I said earlier, this game, there's a lot more pressure on Ryan Day than there is on Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel loses this game, it's no big thing. But if Ryan Day loses, oh, boy, he's
toast.
He's on fire. I don't know if it will be the end, but Ohio State might be crazy enough to actually get rid of him. They might be crazy enough. I mean, I don't know how you could when his record is that pristine, but you know what? They might just get rid of him if he loses. I'm not predicting that to be the case, but the other thing is, too, is that I do think one of these games has to be an upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't pick SMU to be an upset. We didn't pick Clemson to be an upset. And you already know my thoughts on Indiana Notre Dame if you watched the show last night. If you didn't watch the show last night that I did on Indiana, then you don't know my score prediction. But there's got to be an upset somewhere. Do you think Tennessee has it in them? I don't trust Nico. I don't trust their offense, but Ohio State has not looked good lately either.
Like, I don't think Ohio State will be able to stop Tennessee's run, and I don't think Tennessee will be able to stop Ohio State's pass. So it's like, this is the hardest one to pick.
But Will Howard, though, he's prone to mistakes.
Tennessee's secondary is not good, but that is true. And, I mean, that is the reason why I'm picking Tennessee to win, because of Will Howard's mistakes. Like,
Wait, you are hard. Picking Tennessee?
Yes.
Okay, you are. Okay. Yeah. Well, why are me and you on the same wavelength so often? I swear, like, I don't know your picks at all, man. But it's like I thought you, man. Well, yeah, that's who I'm going with too. I'm going with
like either team could win this game, and I think it'll be close. I don't think it'll be a blowout. Like, I don't think it'll be a blowout.
I'm going 24-21 Tennessee. I think Tennessee will win. I don't know. I could be crazy. Ohio State. I mean, that Michigan game. The thing is that there's two ways it could go though. Ohio State could come off that Michigan game furious and win this one, but they could let it hang over and let it stew on them. Right? We don't know what they're gonna do. So. I don't know. I mean, Troy's saying pick at your own risk. I don't have any bets on these games, so it's no big deal to me if I'm wrong. You know, I mean, I'm not betting on this. If I was, then yeah, that definitely I would be like pick at my own risk. But that's why I don't bet. College football is too crazy, man. So I'm going Tennessee. I mean, both teams I don't trust. I don't trust either team, but. Had Ohio State lost to Michigan, I know they're rivals, but that was bad. I mean, that was really bad. I know they missed a couple field goals, but you know what? That's another thing that can matter. When a kicker misses a few field goals, that can get in his head. It can get in his head. I've seen it happen before, and you keep missing. So, I don't know. Tennessee, 24-21.
I said 31-28. I had a little more higher scoring.
Okay.
I have it going over.
We got Traveling Fools in the chat as well. Appreciate your being here. TF, you were so close to being in the playoff. You were so close. You were so close. And Miami blew it again. Every year, man. Every freaking year they do it. So I'm sorry for your Hurricanes, man. But me and Will saw it coming. We picked Cuse and everything. Oh, man.
And here we go. Wait, no, we're not. All right, here we go. It's the game that we've been waiting for so long, man.
Look at that FBI for here. Only a 29.6% chance for Indiana. They gave SMU a bigger chance to beat Penn State. They're giving Indiana to beat Notre Dame. That's not even fair.
FBI leans a lot more on talent than other ones do.
Yeah, obviously. You know, I mean, I would say this is more of a 65-35 game than a 70-29 or 70, 70-30. I mean, the thing is that, yeah, Notre Dame's way more talented, and Notre Dame's at home, and it's at night, and that's going to help get rid of a lot of the wine and cheese, as me and Will like to talk about. So, I mean, I think IU will have a shot. I do think they'll have a shot, but I mean, the problem is, though, Notre Dame, that three-headed monster at tailback. Yeah, Riley Leonard, you're a tailback. You're not a QB. So, you know, you got
to be. I was in a Notre Dame Twitter space today, and there was a guy that was saying Riley Leonard's the best quarterback in the playoff. And we're like, even most of the Notre Dame fans in the chat were like, I don't know about that.
No. That is inaccurate, man.
So I was in the spaces.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Riley Leonard is solid. He is a solid quarterback, but he's not the best in the playoffs. No way. Yeah, Troy V says, my thoughts, Signetti's putting a game plan together, which will take away what Notre Dame does and exploit a weakness. He wins, Google him. Hey, I hope that happens. I mean, I just think Jadarian Price, Jeremiah Love, and Riley Leonard is going to be just so much for IU to handle. I mean, Indiana's been great on run defense, but they've only had to key in on one guy from every team. They've never had to deal with three. I think as long as Rourke can hang in the pocket and make throws, I think IU will be able to have a shot. And if Indiana could run the ball decently well, they'll have a chance. But if Notre Dame's defense starts to get pressure on Rourke, which when we've seen Indiana play good teams, which Michigan, good D-line, Ohio State, and now you're going to have to play Notre Dame. The 2 games in Indiana played good defenses in Michigan and Ohio State. In the second half, Rourke just started getting pressured hard. So I just feel like Indiana in the first half is going to keep this thing close and it's going to be competitive. But by the fourth, I think Notre Dame's talent advantage it's going to overwhelm Indiana. And I think I had it being 34-24. It was either 31-21 or 34-24 Notre Dame. I can't remember my exact score. I know I just made it yesterday, but I didn't write it down.
I have it 34-20 Notre Dame.
I mean, Scotty B saying Indiana barely beat Michigan, which isn't good. Ohio State lost to Michigan. I mean, so I get your point, but Michigan's not the worst team in the world. I mean, they didn't have a quarterback. That's why their team is terrible. But they had a great defense, great defensive line, and a good secondary when healthy, but they were struggling in that department. But I get your point, though, Scotty. I do. I mean, Michigan wasn't great, but Michigan's probably the most talented 7-5 team in college football this season. I mean, there's not really a lot of other 7-5 teams that have the amount of NFL talent that Michigan had on their team. I mean, beating 7-5 Michigan is more impressive than beating, a 7-5 ACC team like Pitt. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that, that makes IU look a little better. And I guess Ohio State looked less bad for losing to them. But, I mean, I don't know, man. I would love to pick IU, and I had the IU fans going at me in the Indiana channel last night when I didn't pick them, but I can't pick with my heart, man. I got to pick with my brain, and I think Notre Dame's going to get it done.
I just think the 2 D tackles who are 5th and 6th years that could have went to the draft and came back, I just think that they're going to be rough for Rourke to handle, like Cross and Mills. And Cross was out for the USC game, and Mills didn't. I mean, Mills didn't have his best game, but they're also playing a mobile quarterback, not Rourke, who's a bit of a statue in there.
Yeah.
And I think that Riley will be able to hit the tight ends and Bo Collins, the bigger, just because Indiana's defensive backs just look small.
Oh, they're small, but they've been great. Because there was one play against Washington, because Washington is big receivers. I think it was Giles Jackson, who's like 6'3". D'Angelo Ponce just went over him at 5'9" and picked it off. It was an insane play. It was a SportsCenter top 10 play. So I'm not really worried about that. I could be wrong, though. Maybe Mitchell Evans and Bo Collins with the size can really make IU second.
Reardon and Flanagan too.
But Indiana's defensive backs are short, but they've been great all season. I mean, Jeremiah Smith only had 34 receiving yards against Indiana. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Ty Felton, the Maryland guy who averaged 100 receiving yards a game, only had 30 receiving yards against Indiana. That's not been a problem for Indiana this year. Big receivers. Washington has big receivers, didn't do anything. Maryland had a couple big receivers in Caden Prather and Ty Felton, didn't do anything. So I'm not really worried about that. Like I said, if Notre Dame is beating Indiana through the air, then something's wrong, massively wrong. And Indiana's getting blown out. Because if Notre Dame can get the passing game going, then they can just hit the run game after that. It's lights out. So definitely, I hope that's not a problem. I don't want Notre Dame's passing game to be a problem, because if it is, then it's going to be an ugly game. But we'll see. You could be right. I don't know.
And Steve will probably wait till after the playoff to enter the portal. He's Notre Dame's backup quarterback, who's probably going to the portal.
Why would any player, transfer from their team when they're in the playoff? I've been thinking about that. I mean, because, you don't even get credit as being on the team, for winning. Like, if your team wins the whole thing, you don't even get credit, right, as being a member of that team when they won. I mean, to me, that would just be insane. I mean, I don't know if you think that matters or not, but to me, if I'm a guy...
I mean, I guess they really are stressed out about not finding a spot, but... I mean, but no one cares about tampering anymore, man, so,
Yeah, of course not. Like when Riley Leonard was at Duke and it was, he's going to Notre Dame. He's going, even before he entered the portal, even before, I remember watching.
People are saying the same thing about Hartman too, man.
I remember people watching I was watching the broadcast. People were talking about it. And they were like, "Oh, well, Riley Leonard, he's gonna enter the portal and he's gonna go to Notre Dame." And I'm like, he's not even in the portal yet. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So yeah, the tampering is off the charts. That's got to stop in the future. I believe. I don't know if it ever will, but I do think that has to stop. I don't think that's necessarily right. I'm not blaming Notre Dame for doing it, though. All these programs are doing it. So, but it is just kind of bad when it's that obvious. And I mean, and I know the academics. I get it because people keep hammering me about the academics. Oh, well, you got to have the portal open now for academics. I understand that, but that's just the rule creating a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree with Scotty. Unfortunately, I don't see a solution for the portal because
I think they got to make it like you enter the portal like before and you're able to enroll for summer classes. I think that should be how it works. I think they should skip spring practice and just go.
I mean, I just think it's wrong that because now we have all this portal being the wild, wild west, it's interfering with the academic stuff that's been in place.
Like they should be able to be committed to the school but not have to go until summer.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I mean, having these guys, not playing these bowl games is just dumb. Yeah, and the thing that's so funny about that, Jim, is there is a spring portal. There is, actually. During spring practice, you've seen this, Will. During spring practice, if the guys don't, like if they're on their team and they thought they were going to have higher standing on the depth chart, and then the coach is kind of like, you know what, Johnny, you're looking like the fifth man this year instead of the third man. You know what? Hitting the portal. So, yeah, that happens. Guys do enter the portal in the spring. The problem is, though, is that the bulk of the guys enter the portal now. Only a few do it in the spring. But it's just dumb. I mean, it makes these bowl games garbage to me. I mean, like I said, bowl season was my favorite part of college football when I was a kid. I love bowl season. And now I just don't even barely care. Like, I'm sorry, but why do I want to watch a game where half of the players that were on a football team are not there? And they're not even playing for that team. I don't want to watch that. I mean, like that Florida-Oregon State game that year was trash. I mean, that was trash. Like, oh, good for the Pack. Good for the Pack. No one cares. Florida had no players. Nobody cares. That's a great win for Oregon State. They beat a team that probably, with the players that they had, would have gone 1-11. I mean, no. These games suck. The bowl season is terrible. I mean, I watch some of them, but it's just more background noise at this point. Like, I got it on. Cool. I mean, like, it was cool, at least with, like, the Memphis-West Virginia game. At least you had the two starting quarterbacks still, Seth Hennigan and Garrett Green, at least. But, yeah, like Jim R. said, and I mentioned that earlier. Look at Marshall. That's just a travesty. I mean, your team made a bowl game. They made a bowl game. And you're not playing in it. This ain't the pandemic where, your team's sick and you can't play. That's different. This is just, we're not playing because we don't have enough players. I mean, what in the world? What happened to making a bowl game? It's like it's a celebration of your season's accomplishments. I mean, that's what it used to be about. But now all this is what people thinking about. Money and playing time and all this. It's just sad. The priorities have shifted so much. I understand money is important for people. You got to have it to live, but when it's becoming more important than all the hard work you put in all season long to make a bowl game, to not even play in that bowl game, it's just garbage. It's just absolute trash, and it makes college football look like trash. I can't stand it. I mean, if I was a player, I'd want to play in that bowl game. I mean, I worked hard all season long to do that. Some teams don't even make a bowl game. Indiana hasn't won a bowl game in 30-something years. I mean, some teams don't even get to play in that many. Like, it's an accomplishment. It's a big deal. Used to be, but no, it's sad. Sorry. I mean, it's a little bit of a rant, I guess, but I just think it's just college football is just being destroyed from the seams. It's never going to go away. It's making more money than ever, but the fabric of it is just dying. What college football stood for in the past, it's just gone. Yeah, money changes everything. Absolutely. I mean, relationships, sports, everything. I mean, It's just it is what it is. I mean, I get NIL, I get the portal, I don't hate everything about it, but there's a lot of things that it is influenced for the worst.
All right, well, I guess we're gonna take a look at it now.
Now we're gonna look at the portal. Yay! And what's ruined bowl season? Yeah. Oh, look at that. We got a tight end that is going to IU. Has that happened today?
No, this is the 10th.
I didn't even see that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's cool, I guess.
Elijah Green, was he not a contributor?
Troy V says, dang, no credit for the obscure 80s song reference. Yeah, I mean, definitely not as popular as Girls Just Want to Have Fun or Time After Time. I will say that, but still, it's pretty cool.
Was Elijah Green not a contributor, really?
Yeah, he was the 4th-string back. He was behind Tyson Lawton, Justice Ellison, and Kalen Black. I thought he would come back, though, because of the fact that he probably would have gotten more snaps this year. But now Indiana's already gotten a running back in the portal. So, oh, wow, Nebraska got an edge rusher.
Walker
so Nebraska's just doing everything they can to become relevant again. They're trying so hard.
We got a punter.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good punter. Indiana's punter, James Evans, is out of eligibility. So after the season, so they needed a punter.
Luke Cromanhook going to Mississippi State.
Florida State is such a mess, man. Everything to do with Florida State is messed up. Indiana got a D lineman from Texas State. He had some power conference offers.
All right. A kicker from Texas State.
Yeah, they're losing their kicker after the season too. So Indiana had to get the special teams going. Man, so many of these guys I've never seen before. I don't know who they are. I mean, there's probably some like college football recruiting guys that know who every single one of these people are. Not personally, but like they keep up with stuff all day long. But yeah, I can't keep up with all that. I just can't. Boss 13 said Longhorns going all the way. Well, appreciate you for being here, but I mean, we did pick Texas. I will say that we did pick Texas, but to beat Clemson. But I don't know if they're gonna go all the way. But you never know. They could. They have the talent, but they're gonna have to not play like they did against Georgia in both games, especially that first Georgia game. But they definitely have the talent to win it all. Yeah, Fernando Mendoza, he's still hanging around.
The Mendoza line, he's still above it.
Yeah. Did you see Ty Thompson in the portal again?
Andrell Anthony, he was decent, right?
Yeah, the Bama guy, Dylan Lonergan, or however you pronounce his last name. He's going to Boston College to replace Castellanos. Wonder if that will work out for Bill O'Brien. No idea. Vanderbilt got an edge rusher from Bama.
Must be smart to go to Vandy.
Yeah, that guy that went to Kentucky on there, that O-lineman in Indiana was trying to get him. That's tough. That's a tough blow. He was a good O-line prospect. I'm sure Cignetti will have somebody else up his sleeve.
Castellanos, the Florida State official.
I mean, I get it, man. I get it. You know, Florida State, NIL, you know, big program. But that program is a mess, man. I mean, hey, if Castellanos goes 7-5 or better, though, he'd be a hero. I mean, they were really bad. Really, really bad this year. You can't have another repeat season like that. Or definitely could be on the chopping block for next season. Mike Norvell, he'd be done. Jason says, I'm not that excited about Castellanos, but we'll see. He's a talented player. He's got dual threat ability, but the passing's not consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's kind of hard to envision it working out. Billy Edwards
going to Wisconsin, too.
So I can't believe that Wisconsin, with Fickle, he's abandoning the pass. He's going to try to go back to run. Back to Wisconsin's roots. I'm like, dude, you cannot go against the grain in modern college football. You cannot do that, man. You have to have a modern offense. We'll see, man. I just don't. I think Fickle's in big trouble. I really do. I think he's in big trouble. And the thing is like you got so many wide receivers in the portal. You can't just get a couple decent receivers to have a good passing game. You can't do that. I mean, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Notre Dame was looking at Sam and Pemba, but now he's in the portal. He went to Georgia, but Notre Dame looked at him, but I don't know. Now he's a 3-star. He went down.
Sometimes if you don't get a guy the first time, then maybe Notre Dame can get him this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the running back they got. Lee Beebe from UAB, Indiana, landed him. Funny thing with him, too, he committed to Indiana, and then it looked like, oh, well, my recruitment's still open. But then, no, it was his agents that said that. He's like, no, I'm committed to IU. So I was like, okay. Portal's just crazy. Doesn't even make any sense. And I see you got it paused. Donovan McCulley going to Michigan. He didn't do anything last year for Indiana. So it's like, is he really gonna do anything in Michigan? I mean, maybe. I mean, he was good for IU 2 years ago, but the fact that he did not even crack IU's rotation this season at receiver, I mean, that's not a good look for him doing much at Michigan. I mean, maybe Michigan sees something in him and he's gonna get a lot of NIL there, but there's a shot he doesn't play there either. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wisconsin going to run the option with Edwards. Yeah, that's
it'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting. I just still think you have to have somewhat of a modern offense. I mean, the option's cool and all, but I mean, Georgia Tech's not doing that anymore. I don't know. Yeah, I hope the best for McCulley, but I mean, he was a big letdown this season. I mean, he was expected to be an all conference player, and he did nothing at all. So
Tyson Ford going to Cal. I thought he would be better at Notre Dame, but it just never worked out. Hopefully he does all right at Cal.
Yeah, Cal needs help. I mean, Will Cox is still all right, but I mean, he needs to break through with an 8-4 season sometime. I mean, it's not like the ACC's that hard. Alex Orji, man, group of 5 probably. I mean, he should be group of 5. He should be.
Justice Haynes.
Yeah, he didn't play much. Played some, but
pretty high recruit, but
yeah, he was highly recruited. I mean, if Bama's getting a guy, he's highly recruited. But yeah, Hank Brown, QB going to Iowa.
I guess he gave up on being a quarterback then if he went to Iowa.
Yeah, if you're going to Iowa, you just don't care about going pro.
Yeah.
From the quarterback position. I mean, Cade McNamara, his career, dude. I mean, what a sad fall. I mean, going to Iowa is the worst thing that you could possibly do as a quarterback. Like, what are you doing? I mean, their team is just so not wired for QB play. It's just not. It's wired for tight end play, O-line play, but not running back, but not QB.
Finn back in the portal. He got hurt. He was all right before he got hurt, though.
Yeah, someone said in chat earlier that they said that they thought rumors that he was going to Michigan for a visit. But, I mean, to me, I think Michigan should go after a bigger fish than Finn. Pardon the pun. But, yeah, I don't I mean, he's fine. I mean, he did good at Toledo, but I don't know. Thomas Hero said, hey, Jeffrey and Will, good evening, gentlemen. Appreciate that. We got One Scoop John as well. Appreciate you for being here. Yeah, I mean, Scotty B saying Finn might be a backup at Michigan. I mean, why go to Michigan to be a backup? I mean, you're going, to me, transfer to start. And Jackson Arnold, man, why? You don't go to Auburn. You do not go to Auburn. Like, my Lord, just no. his career's shot. Don't you think? I mean, it's shot, man. Like you don't go to Iowa, you don't go to Auburn.
You don't
Like,
go to Auburn.
why? I would not have done that, Jackson Arnold. Bad move.
We'll see.
John says Steven Cherry is always a blast to talk to. Steven's a nice guy, man. I mean, yeah, sometimes he's an Ohio State guy. I get crazy on you for you Michigan guys, but he's a cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
John with the crime face is funny. The Michigan Ohio State rivalry runs deep, man.
Devontae Smith going to Notre Dame. Good pickup for
not Devontae Smith, the receiver, but Devontae Smith, the safety.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, man, I knew the guy committed to Alabama, but I remember hearing his name. Someone said it on TV. Devontae Smith making a play, and I'm like, what? Like, what? Wait, what? I'm like, oh, okay, not Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Two different people. Yeah, he's going to Notre Dame, so that's good for your Irish, I guess. I mean, he didn't.
He started.
He didn't do too much for Bama's defense overall. Like being one of the best players. You know, I mean, like he wasn't the top threat, but
they said he had like the best like passer rating against, like the second best behind the guy that went to the portal and then came back.
That's good.
So that's good.
Hopefully, that was good for Notre Dame. It's kind of shocking he's leaving since he, played a lot.
Well, he's having a child and he wants to live, and he's from Ohio, so he wanted to move closer to family.
Okay, well, you know more about the scoop than I do on that one, so that's cool on that. Happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense too. I'm just saying he's in his 8th season. Well, that kind of lines up with your story.
Well, he had to take a medical red shirt, so it's going to be his 5th actual year. But if the Eagles' Devontae Smith was at Alabama, he would have.
Yeah, I knew that was a joke, by the way. I was playing into his joke and yours. That was funny.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is 5 seasons is still a long time.
Yeah. So
I mean, that usually, for example, Curtis Rourke is in his 6th season of college football. Mm-hmm. He's 24 and he's married. Like the guys that are married, sometimes they have a kid, whatever. It's like they're the ones that are like 24. I mean, they're the grizzled veterans, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just don't see that as much with like the 18, 19-year-olds. So,
yeah. So we'll see. I mean, he's going in. I mean, if you want to be a defensive back, Notre Dame's probably one of the best spots you can go to. And he got coach under Nick Saban, so he'll be good. Dieneman going to Oregon. He got the money, man. He got that Oregon money.
Yeah, you were talking about him going to Notre Dame possibly. Yeah. I mean, perfect move, right? To go to Notre Dame. He's at Purdue. Notre Dame's a short drive away. Oregon.
Money.
It's just that brutal NIL, man. It's that Phil Knight. You know what I'm saying? Like their entire program is built on the fingertips of Phil Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, like, I got nothing against Oregon, but it cracks me up sometimes when Oregon fans talk about how great our program is. We built it from the ground up. I'm like, dude, yeah, you built it from the the Nike factory up. I mean, like, what are you talking about? Like, Oregon's the most fabricated program ever. They weren't built on nothing. I'm sorry, but you weren't. Oh my gosh! Sorry, if Ben was here, he'd be losing. I'm sorry, Ben. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Spaz will be losing it. Yeah.
Yeah, Spaz. I mean, the thing is, like I got nothing against Oregon, but it's facts. Like if you don't admit that Oregon was not built like other programs were built, that they were built a lot more, corporately than yeah. I mean, that's just you're just delusional. You know it. Everybody knows it. Everybody makes fun of Oregon for that. Also says he wanted to play for a winner. Okay.
He wanted to get money.
He wanted to play for the dough, man. That's what it had to do with. Oregon, a winner. I mean, historically, Notre Dame's a way better winner than Oregon. I mean, Oregon might be winning more now, but
Oregon's only been relevant since '94, man.
Scotty Beast, and that's about when Notre Dame fell off.
Yeah.
Scotty Beast says Texas Tech's buying players too. Everybody's buying players. Indiana's buying players. Everybody.
Oregon just has more money to buy players with. They have more money. Yeah.
Dude, that Nike money runs deep. It runs really deep. Yeah. So I mean, good for Dylan getting the money, but sucks for Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
LSU getting a receiver from Kentucky.
He was pretty good for Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, LSU's making
JoJo Earl at TCU's in the portal again. He was at Bama. He's in the portal again. When you're making that third move, you know things have gone wrong.
It's not going well.
You know things have gone wrong.
Unless if you go from FCS, Group of 5, Power 5. That's you know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what Elijah Surratt did.
Yeah.
He went from FCS to James Madison to Indiana. That's good. But when you're going from Bama to TCU to now Group of 5, it's gone wrong, man. And then FCS after Group of 5.
Oh.
It's gone wrong.
Miller Moss to Louisville. I heard he was going to Missouri, but apparently now he's going to Louisville.
Yeah, the thing was, I thought Indiana had a shot because Cignetti followed him on X or Twitter or whatever. So I thought there was Oregon has a better chance, Austin, because they got more money.
Yeah. Also, like if you want to go to be a safety, go to Notre Dame. Has a better track record of safeties lately than Oregon does.
But yeah, Cignetti followed Miller Moss on Twitter, so I thought there was a shot. But I mean, hey, Louisville with Brom, I mean, Plummer sucked, right? Like Plummer was bad. He was a horrible quarterback, and Brom was the only one that could get anything out of him because when Plummer was at Purdue, he did pretty good. And
he got beat out by Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, he split time with him. They went back and forth like again and again and again. And he did pretty good there at Purdue. Then he went to Cal, sucked, went to Louisville, and he did all right for what he was. Not a good quarterback, but he made do with them. So that's a credit to Brom. And then Shaw, or however you pronounce his last name, Tyler Shaw.
Shuck.
I don't that last name.
Shuck is one of the. Yeah.
That guy, though, he was all right at Tech. But, again, Jeff Brom got more out of him, too. So, you know, I feel like Miller Moss is making a move in that sense where it's like, you know what, Jeff Brom has done more with quarterbacks that kind of sucked. And Miller Moss is probably better than both of them. So he can have success there at Louisville. And it's not the hardest league at all. The ACC is very weak. So it's honestly a really good fit, probably. It's probably a really good fit.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. I like him there. It'll be interesting to see if they do better than USC next season.
Well, record-wise, they probably will, and they're in an easier league. So, I mean, it's a lot easier for Louisville to go 9-3 in the ACC than it is for USC to do that in the Big Ten, but we'll see.
Purdue to Texas, that's quite a move.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. Yeah, I mean, Purdue did not have a lot of good players. They had a couple, and it seems like they got snatched up quick. It's just Austin Jeffrey top of the ACC slant. I can't help it, man. The ACC is not that good. It just is.
Jason Johnson went to USC at first for a few hours, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go to SMU instead for more money." And then that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. And that dude right there, DeMarge Lewis, that guy was at Indiana.
Really?
With Tom Allen. He was at Indiana, and then he went to Purdue. And he's leaving Purdue. Didn't do anything.
Julian Humphrey.
I love the portal. I hate the portal just as much as I love the portal. It makes me laugh because some of these moves are just funny. Like these guys, man, just don't know what they're doing. It's Russian roulette, man.
Kanye Udo. I wonder how good he'll do at a team that's not Army. He's their main running back. So that'll be interesting to see.
Hummus Hero said, who's going to win the Zachariah Branch bidding war? Dare I say Oregon?
I heard Michigan made a big offer for
Dude,
him.
Michigan's just dealing cash. Oh my gosh. I mean, the amount of money that they pay for Underwood is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it'll either be them or Colorado.
Yeah, man. The amount of money that's just getting shilled out for some of these players is unreal, dude. And I love this. I love this. Troy V, how many of these kids ever got out of the portal? By the way, no lie. No lie. I'm serious about this. A couple years ago, it was the second to last season of Tom Allen. Indiana lost a ton of dudes to the portal, and they were bad players, right? They were no good. I think out of the 25 guys that left Indiana, 5 of them never got on another team. They never did. They never committed anywhere
It's
else.
so sad.
I'm like, not even the FCS. Not even D2. I mean, they probably could have gone D2 or something like that, but they just didn't want to, so they just quit. But I mean, that's sad, though. I mean, some of these dudes never get on another team. That's what people don't get. Like, all you think about is these big names, right, going to schools. But at the end of the day, there's a ton of dudes that never get on another team. They just enter the portal and they're infinitely in the portal. So they're 60 years old and their last playing time was in the portal. They could get picked up at any time.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry.
Bama might get Branch then. I mean,
okay. Also
that's
says, are the rumors true that
rumor.
Ryan Williams is leaving Bama? I have not seen that. I have not seen that. Yeah, I don't know. I have not followed recruiting that heavily, so you got your guess is as good as mine. I wouldn't be able to tell you where Branch is going. I have no idea.
Yeah. Van Buren going to LSU.
That has to be just money.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Maybe he'll beat out Nussmeier.
Nussmeier's coming back, though.
Yeah, maybe he'll beat him out. We'll see.
Well, Thomas here says a 60-year-old in the portal, Cam Rising. Man, his fall, man, from grace. That's sad. That still is sad. He was so fun to watch. But, yeah, I mean, if I'm Van Buren, is it really smart to go to LSU, though? Who was that quarterback? Spencer Sanders. You remember Spencer Sanders?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why?
Spencer freaking Sanders. He was at Oklahoma State, starting quarterback, no pressure for the job, and then the dude just leaves. And where did he go? Did he go was it Ole Miss? That was it. He went to Ole Miss. The dude didn't even play. He didn't even play. So it's like that's what could probably happen to Van Buren. Like he's gonna go to LSU and he's not even gonna play. I mean, more money, but I don't get it, man. It's kind of dumb to me. I would rather start, right? I mean,
Cam Fancher back in the portal.
Oh no, Cam Fancher. Where's Buckeye Mike when we need him? He's always talking about Cam Fancher at Marshall. It made me laugh so much, man. I mean, that dude was not that good. He was not that good. Their best player that year was their tailback. Their tailback was pretty good. Not Cam Fancher, but. Yeah, Amarian Knighton going to IU. He had some power conference offers, so some people are excited about him. Troy says that Ron Williams of the portal was put out by a troll account. Yeah, you got to be careful with Twitter, man. There's a lot of liars on there.
Cole Cabana going to Minnesota. I remember Michigan fans were excited when they got him.
That fall from grace. Kansas getting a Bama dude, probably depth guy.
Provula.
Logan Fife. I remember him somewhere. Who did he play for? I can't remember. He played for another team before Montana. It was like Utah State or something. I can't remember. Yeah, Indiana got a D-line guy. Wait, Wisconsin. Go back down. Wisconsin.
Yeah, I saw this guy before, yeah.
But didn't they already get?
I guess they'll compete for the job, I guess.
Basis at Fresno State. That's where Fife played. I remember that. He came in a couple games and did okay, I guess. Not really, though. But Wisconsin got another guy, right? Who was it again?
Maryland guy, too.
Okay, Edwards. Yeah, Billy Edwards. So why are they getting 2 guys?
I guess they'll compete. One will transfer out in the spring.
This portal stuff's crazy. Yeah, Oklahoma got the Washington
Mateer,
State
I mean,
guy.
they need a lot of help, man. That Oklahoma team stunk, and I don't know if they've gotten many other players. We'll see if they can get some
You
help for
think
them.
Mateer's the guy?
People are hyped up about him.
I mean, I don't think he's Cam Ward.
No, he's not.
He's not Cam Ward. I mean, yeah, I mean, Jason says the Washington State quarterback is pretty good. I mean, he was solid. I just don't think that he's, a stat stuffer. And unfortunately, Oklahoma kind of needs that right now because, like you said, their team's kind of a mess. Samuel Wilkinson Jr., appreciate you for being here. Says Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, y'all. Definitely Merry Christmas. Appreciate you.
He was the highest rated quarterback in the portal. We'll see if he lives up to it.
Well, I mean, Curtis Rourke was the 22nd rated quarterback in the portal last year, and he ended up finishing 9th in the Heisman odds. So, I mean, I don't really think necessarily what you're ranked always necessarily is how you end up. So, he could be the highest rated guy in the portal and end up being the 15th best guy next year. You never know. He could be the best guy, but definitely the rankings are subjective for sure. I mean, they're not perfect, but who knows? He could be good. Oh, Brent Venables is already on the hot seat. He's smoking. He's smoking. He's on fire. He's burning. If they don't go 8-4 or better, he's done probably. Ohio State got a tackle from Minnesota. Well, that's a good sign because usually Minnesota's got a good tackle. Tackles and right guards, left guards, all that kind of stuff.
Chandler Morris to Virginia. We'll see if he can save Tony Elliott's job.
Yeah, I would probably bet that it wouldn't, but we'll see. Zach Calzada, he's back.
He's back in the Power 5.
Is the favorite to land according to that. I mean, he had the good game against Bama, man. That was his highlight. Yeah, go Tigers. Edwards says, so the difference between him and Cam Ward is Cam's a turnover machine, Mateer not ATM. Cam is big. Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. I don't know. I just think like Cam Ward, like just a better overall like athlete. Mateer, just like Oklahoma needs that explosive type of player with how poor their team kind of is right now. But we'll see.
Aaron Nolan in the portal. Him and Sayin were Ohio State's 2 quarterbacks that were freshmen.
Yeah, Ohio State loses so many quarterbacks to the portal because of the fact that
they recruit a lot.
They recruit so many guys that never play. I mean, like they've
Joe
had
Burrow
Jack
never
Miller,
Ohio State.
Jack Miller, Quinn Ewers. I mean, just tons of dudes. That other guy, Devin Brown. I mean, just tons of dudes. Every year they lose players.
A lot of people were comparing this guy to Penix when he was in high school, so we'll see if he lives up to that.
No, I mean, he hasn't had any time to showcase anything, so I mean, he could still do something. I mean, once a guy's played a lot of football and they just suck, then they're bad. But when they haven't played at all, like this guy could be great. We just don't know. We have not seen him at all. So, only time will tell. He's got to go to the right team too.
He'll have 4 years of eligibility left because he just redshirted his freshman year. So we'll see. He has time. Edward wants him to go to Clemson.
Well, I mean, Klubnik, I don't know his eligibility situation, but, he could go there once Klubnik's gone, but I don't know. Yeah, like Scotty B says, Cartavius Norton, I recognize him. He was at Iowa State. That's the way it is with the portal. Like, I look at these names as you're scrolling, and some of these guys just trigger me. Like, I know that guy. I remember that guy. Like some other school, and they've already moved like 3 different schools.
Ashton Daniels, another quarterback going to Auburn. Ashton Daniels from Stanford.
Just dumb. Terrible, horrible decision. I mean, it's all about this. It's all the reason you go to Auburn. But other than that, why? Like Auburn is not the team. It's just not the team.
He was all right at Stanford.
Well, I mean, who was the other guy? I can't even remember that went there. Who's the other guy?
Arnold.
Oh, yeah. Arnold. Who wins the job? I would say Arnold. Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be wrong. Arnold struggled, but I would think that he would. And there's Tech looking like they're going to get a pretty good player from Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was good at Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech always just gets poached.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough every year. Now, they didn't lose anything when they lost that quarterback to Nebraska, though. Oh, my gosh, his name's slipping my mind. Man, you remember the Georgia Tech quarterback that went to Nebraska? Jeff Sims, dude. Jeff Sims was horrible. He was so bad. Oh, man. Yeah, Austin says Auburn's better than Stanford. Yeah, Auburn's better than Stanford, but like, why would you go to Auburn when you're probably not going to start?
Mm-hmm.
And Auburn just stinks. I don't know, man.
Kyron Hudson had that one catch against LSU and then never did much after that.
How did Fleming do at Penn State this year? I did not keep up with that. They didn't do anything?
Nothing.
So you think this will be like that?
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, like, remember Fleming was supposed to, like, really be big for Penn State.
He did nothing, man. He did nothing.
How many yards did he have this year? I'm going to look that up while you keep scrolling. I'm intrigued because, I mean, he was supposed to do a lot for Penn State. He's supposed to be that feature guy. I mean, he's a great run blocker. He's just a solid receiver, overall. He does all the little things. Okay, 14 receptions, 176 yards and a touchdown. That's nothing. That's nothing, man.
Mason Murphy, I didn't feel like he was good at USC, but he's going to Auburn. We'll see if he does any better there.
Auburn, where dreams go to die. Not surprising. Hummus said, I like Fleming, but he's one of the biggest recruiting busts ever. I mean, yeah, 174 receiving yards is pathetic for a former. I think he was a 5-star, if I recall.
Mm-hmm. Malachi Fields, Notre Dame might get him from Virginia.
Well, it looks like he was one of Virginia's better players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Notre Dame needs better receivers. Yeah, Kobe Prentice went to Baylor. Scotty mentioned that earlier. That's good for Baylor. Hopefully he does well there. Yeah, IU lost a depth safety to North Texas. That's not a big deal there. Tech
Mitch
got
Griffiths
a quarterback.
Going to Tech.
Mitch Griffiths didn't even start.
He got beat out by Hank Bachmeier. Yeah.
Yeah, Austin says Auburn might go 6-6 now with this talent. Maybe they will. There it is.
The Branch brothers going to the portal.
You think they go to the same team?
Yes, they will. They said they will.
I mean, everybody is saying different teams, Bama and Oregon. I mean, we have no idea.
Zion's always hurt. That's the problem. Zion's always hurt. And then Zachariah has all the talent in the world, but USC just didn't utilize him right.
That's kind of been the common theme with USC lately. Is they don't utilize anybody right. Like nobody.
Like he's 5'10" and they're throwing him like jump balls. I'm like, what are you?
Yeah, you do that with a guy that's 6'3" or taller. I mean, you don't do that with 5'10", 5'11". I mean, he's a slot guy. Get him a screen pass and let him go. That's what you do with a guy like that, or run one of those routes where you like run straight and then just cut hard and just run straight down the field sideways, like something like that. I mean,
he's going to be returning punts for wherever he goes to. Zachariah will.
Yeah, probably no chance for Indiana then. They'll get him, but I would take him at IU. I'm sure Cignetti would actually use him right, but. He's going to cost too much.
Apparently they already have the no contact tag attached to them, so apparently someone already has them.
Yeah, that guy kind of gives it away. Florida State got somebody from Nebraska.
Oh yeah, edge rusher.
Yeah, trying to rebuild that. team that's a disaster. Hey, Tech got somebody else.
From Louisiana Lafayette.
Tech was decent this year. They ended up being decent after a rough start. Okay, Bama. Yeah, I saw that. They got a guy from Florida. So a lot of people are kind of hyped on him.
A lot of Auburn to Ole Miss to Auburn guys.
Why does that happen?
I don't know.
That has happened rather frequently. And Colorado got a guy, I can't see what team, that Old Dominion?
Jacksonville State.
I can't see it. It's so small, but Reginald. So let's see if he does
Nick
well.
Anderson was LSU fans are excited about him from Oklahoma.
Syracuse got a guy from Rutgers.
CJ Daniel going from LSU to
Scotty
Miami.
says Colorado got Caden Salter. I didn't even see that.
We'll probably get to that.
Yeah, the Liberty guy. I mean, hey, it's not a bad move. I mean, he's pretty good, so we'll see. I mean, Colorado's got tons of money now with Deion. Auburn got a guy from Western Kentucky. Man, Auburn is funny. They lose so many guys and gain so many guys. There it is. Cade Salter to Colorado. I mean, do you think it's a good fit? You like the move?
I mean, yeah, I think it'll. Yeah, they'll probably do it. We'll see how they develop quarterbacks other than Shedeur, but you'll probably do well there.
Yeah, it is going to be a big deal to see how that does work out for Deion because I mean, a lot of people, think Deion's really good, but like you said, Shedeur, it could be just a big reason him and Hunter is what's holding it together. Like in the future, it could be a step back. We'll see. I mean, they are bringing in some decent players because they're getting, so much money into the program now. So, I mean, I would probably think that, there's a better chance that they'll be solid than bad, but there is a chance that they can be bad. But, yeah, I agree with Scotty B. It's that anybody who's going to be a downgrade. I mean, Shedeur is, really, really, really good. So, I mean, Cade Salter's not going to be as good. But if the team around Cade Salter is better than it was for Shedeur, then the team could still be decent. Yeah, you got Julian Lewis, but I really don't think Julian Lewis is going to start over Salter in his first season, but we'll see. You never know.
Maybe in season they'll make a change. We'll see.
Julian Lewis should have gone to Indiana, man. That was a bad move. That was a bad move to go to Colorado, man, but whatever. That's a little bit of my bias showing on that one, but okay. Yeah, I appreciate you being here, Samuel Logan. Have a great night.
Jordan Dingle.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Ohio State to Wisconsin. Another Purdue guy going to Texas Tech this time.
Purdue, man. Colorado got a guy from Oklahoma. Okay, Bama got a guy from Utah. Cameron Calhoun. So Bama's making some moves.
UCF to Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota's always about those O-linemen. Tight end from South Carolina going to North Carolina. I mean, I never understand the rivalry transfers. I don't get it. Oklahoma State lost a tackle to Vandy. Man, when Vandy's getting a guy from Oklahoma State, that's funny. Gundy, man, that's not doing well. Yeah, that's that guy right there. I did not even see that move. That happened today because I have kept up with Indiana's transfers, and that did happen today because I didn't see it. But with getting a Wisconsin tight end, that's normally a good sign.
Yeah.
So Isaiah Horton, Miami receiver, Bama 100% crystal ball. We'll see. Washington State receiver going to Arizona. Arizona needs a lot of help.
Tennessee to Vandy. That's interesting.
Another in-state, man. In-state rivalry. I mean, like during Tom Allen, he lost players to Purdue every year. Every year he lost guys to Purdue. It was crazy.
All right. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks everyone for coming in.
Oh, definitely.
This was a
Appreciate
lot
all
of
you
fun.
guys for being here. Great turnout. You guys always make the show tons of fun. So appreciate you guys for
Mhm,
being here. As always, whether you're watching on Will or my channel,
mhm,
definitely subscribe to Will's channel. Will's making
mhm,
content talking about Notre Dame. So subscribe to Will
mhm,
indeed. Subscribe to Will's channel. He's got content coming. And I've
mhm,
got stuff coming down the pike as well when I'm able to on Only Talk Sports. So if you guys are interested in what we are doing, definitely subscribe to both of our channels.
mhm,
We definitely appreciate it and cannot wait for Indiana Notre Dame. No matter what happens, if IU
mhm,
gets blown off the field, congrats to Will.
mhm,
Notre Dame's all good. But if Indiana gets that big win, the biggest win in school history, it'd be
mhm,
amazing. It'd be amazing, but and it'd be one of the biggest wins for Notre Dame in a long time too. So a
mhm,
lot of stakes for both teams. Going to be exciting, and can't wait to see those other games as well, especially that Tennessee Ohio State game. Looking forward to that one, but definitely
mhm,
appreciate everybody for being here tonight and excited about the college football playoffs. And we'll have tons more news to talk
mhm,
about with the portal, I'm sure, coming up in the coming weeks.
mhm. Thanks everyone.